Come on, man. What's up, brother? What's good, man? Good fun.
I saw the fire in brother's chest to be, do, and have something different. And so it was really from every brother that is a participant, from us as player coaches. The transformation, I think, was substantive. Watching the brothers bond and develop and grow and transform is always amazing to me. And so this weekend was for me nothing short of amazing, watching the brothers do their work and fully engaged, right? Like, so we didn't see any brother half step. You and I were able to see every single brother fully engaged, even brothers that came in saying, this ain't what I really do. Just let me sit back in the cut and chill. Right. Those brothers genuinely fully engaged and grew not just as individuals, but as a collective.
What it do, y'all? What's going on with you? Yeah, it's me again. I'm Donald Morton. I'm the founder of Remand. And at Remand, we work with married businessmen with families to get them to dominate the game, to dominate business, thrive in marriage and family, not lose themselves in the process. Did you know that it is absolutely possible for you to have it all, for you to master it all, for you to not have any gaps? You hear a lot of people kind of talk about everybody got something, everybody got a flaw somewhere, and there's truth to that. But we've developed a system that can cause you to kind of close the gaps. And I want to make sure that I came on, and I will be doing this twice a day, every single day, to get the message out that you do not have to live fragmented any longer. Do me a favor. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from. I can see that we are on Facebook. We are also on LinkedIn, and we are also on YouTube. So Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all at the same time, getting the message of integration out to everyone that would possibly hear it. When you connect tonight, tell somebody. I want you to like, I want you to share. I want you to, let me see how this works. Let me see. Uh, Breaking news. Okay, let's do it that way. Like and subscribe. Let everybody know that we're on. Like and subscribe. Let everybody know that we are on. Let me see if I can't remove. Uh, it's under media assets as well. Um, yeah, let me know that you're on. Let me know where you're watching from. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share, so that other people can join us tonight as we have this conversation about whether or not it's possible for a man to have it all. This is going to be more conversational tonight. Is it possible for a man to have it all? Is it possible for a man to have it all? Um, Not only is it possible, but it is probable, absolutely probable, for a man who learns to master a system to be able to master all of it at the same time. You can master all of it at the same time. You do not have to choose. You do not have to choose. So while we are on tonight, I want this to be interactive. I want you to share your thoughts and positions as we kind of go through the slideshow. Like to know more about what you think. Like to know more about what you think. All right, so I want to talk to you about what it means to be a complete man. In fact, the last 30 seconds, all I've really been talking about is what it actually means to have it all, what it actually means to master it all, what it actually means to not be so successful in one area that it causes you to forfeit success in every area, in other areas, because, you know, athletes have said it, other notable figures have said it. My favorite basketball player in the world is gone now. His name is Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant made a statement that I vehemently disagree with. He said that in order to be successful at basketball, he had to sacrifice something. Mike Jordan said the same thing. LeBron James has said the same thing. I'm sure Tom Brady, if you look at what happened with him, said the exact same thing, that there are sacrifices that have to be made. And I am in agreement fully that there are sacrifices that absolutely have to be made in order for a man to be successful. You get no qualms about that for me. You get no qualms about that from me. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. It requires hard work in order to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. But if I'm going to put in the work anyway, if I'm going to put in the effort anyway, if I'm going to jump in with both feet anyway, then I might as well do so with something that is going to get me to master all of it. Now, here's what's crazy, right? Years ago, there was this debate from scientists, from doctors, from athletes about whether or not the 4-minute mile would ever be broken. Right? Whether or not the 4-minute mile would ever be broken. Many people said it was absolutely impossible. Doctors and scientists said your insides would actually explode. What's up, Dwight? Good to see you, my guy. Like, share. Thank you for commenting, man. Let's engage. There were a lot of people who said the 4-minute mile would never be broken, that it would be actually impossible for it to be broken until it was broken. Until it was broken. And then you know what happened after that? After the 4-minute mile was broken, then you had, within 30 days, I believe, you had someone else break the new record. What does that share? It shares that the truth of the matter is that nobody thinks it can be done until it's done. And when somebody proves that it can be done, then there are individuals that begin to really make sure that it's a part of their lives. For the athletes, for the 4-minute mile, for three-peats and championships, back-to-back championships for football players. I mean, 2,000 yards in a season. No one thinks a thing can happen until it actually happens. So what I want to suggest to you as you're watching is, no one thought that integration was possible. Everyone thought that something had to be sacrificed, that you couldn't have a great business and a great family at the same time, that you couldn't be happy in your marriage and family and be self-fulfilled at the same time. Something had to give. And what I am suggesting, what I know to be true, what I've seen with others and what I'm experiencing now is you can have it all. You can master it all. You can have it all. You can become a complete man. So if that's true, and it is, there must be a reason why so many successful businessmen feel incomplete. And the reason is that there are 3 integrations that will change everything. If they can learn these 3 integrations, it shifts everything. Now, I'm going to make a series of statements, and I want you to tell me what you feel when I actually share them with you. You do not have a marriage problem. For the man that is sitting on the side of the bed while his wife is sitting on the other side of the bed and you guys are back to back and you're facing other areas, for the guys who are on their cell phones and she's on her cell phone for, you don't have a marriage problem. I know it's easy, but it's also lazy to automatically think on the surface. It thinks that you guys are in trouble, that you have a marriage problem. You don't have a marriage problem. Neither do you have a business problem. Your business leaking profits. You're not attracting the level of client that you want to attract. Your team is not really functioning at the level you want them to function. You don't have a business problem. And my guy, guess what? You don't even have a time problem. I know you're trying to balance it all. You're trying to find time for wifey. You're trying to find time for the kids. A business has to run. You're trying to find time for the team. You're trying to find time for all of the things that you think are important. And what I am telling you is you don't have a time problem. You don't have a business problem. You don't have a marriage problem. You have an integration problem. You have a problem being fractured. You have a problem being fragmented. You have a problem trying to be multiple men based on the room. You're not living authentically. You're one man at the office. You're another man at home. You're another man in community. Man, listen, at some point, you have to acknowledge and admit that the problem isn't your marriage. It's not your wife. The problem isn't your business. It's not your staff. The problem isn't your time. Do you know that each one of us get the same amount of time? Same amount of time. Every single day, 24 hours a day, 168 hours in a week, all of us get the same amount of time. And yet there are those who are handling their business at a high level. And then there are those who feel the sting that you're burning it up. You're killing the game as it relates to business, only to come home to a cold house. And look, I'm not suggesting to you that you not work. It's unrealistic for anyone to suggest to you that you don't work. It's unrealistic for anyone to suggest to you that you don't have a call, you don't have a purpose. The greatest thing that a man could ever find is who he is, and close second is why he was born. Those 2 fundamental questions help a man stand at the crossroads of greatness and just mediocrity. If I can get men to lock in on identity and purpose, if I can get them to become clear on who they are and why they are, then I promise you the rest will line up like dominoes. So over the next 90 minutes, you're going to discover why the version of success you were sold was never designed to make you whole, and the 3 integrations that will absolutely make you whole. The strategy for success, the version of success that everybody has pumped into you, yeah, it's a lie. And yet you continue over and over again. You continue over and over again to try to force feed it, right? Like you try to put that, what is it, a square peg in a round hole. You're attempting to force something that doesn't work, and you've been doing it for decades now. And you're listening to these gurus, these coaches out here that are telling you over and over again that balance is the way. It's funny because I was setting up a business account with a credit union, and they were trying to find the number relative, I think it's NCIS number, something like that, to kind of determine what kind of business I am so that there's a code in the system. Well, I'm an educational company. I'm here to provide life coaching and life consultation, life reconstruction for married businessmen with families who want to master it all. They're tired of looking one way on the surface only to go home and have it all fall apart like a house of cards. And so she was asking me, what do you do? Tell me about the company. And I shared with her, and then she says something that made my skin crawl, but I just had to, I had to eat it. She said, oh, you help men with work-life balance. And for those of you that know anything about me, the word balance makes my skin itch. It makes my skin crawl. It makes the hair on my head stand on end. Why? Because the truth that nobody wants to tell you, is that balance is a lie, and that the only way to move your life forward and not leave anything behind is to serve this life of integration. So before we begin, though, before I really get into what I need to teach tonight, before I get into the masterclass, I need you to stay until the very end. Why? Because today I'm giving something away that I've never given away before, but only the men who stay until the end will actually get it, right? So only the men that stay until the end. So here's what you're going to learn today. I want to set your expectations about what you can expect from today's training. I want you to expect to learn why success doesn't create completeness. Success doesn't create completeness. I want you to learn, number 2, that balance is a myth. So we're going to talk about that. Balance is a myth. And then I want you to really think through, number 3, how we need to develop a better operating system, not a better calendar. So you will hear balanced people say, all you got to do is make sure everything's on your calendar, everything is lined up so that everybody gets their time. Listen, I am a guy who, number 1, doesn't use calendars very well, but I'm also a guy who understands that being able to put everything on the calendar is not the issue. That is still an issue of fragmentation. It is still an issue of fracture, and integration is the only cure to this disease of balance. So before we go any further, for those of you that don't know me, I'm your guide for the night. I'm Donald Morton. I'm the founder of Remand, and I'm not here to teach you theory. I'm not here to help you understand theory at all. What I am here is to model what integration looks like. I'm a husband to Marla Michelle Morton. I'm a father. I'm a founder of Remand. I'm the founder of and originator of the character arc, and I'm the originator of SQ times AQ equals MQ cubed. I'm the founder of the Reman Smart House. Got a lot going on, but everything that we do is surrounded by this one idea that it is possible for every man, whether he comes out of prison into one of our smart homes, whether he's in prison currently. The reason why he's in prison is because he broke under pressure. He's fractured. The reason why divorce rates are so high is because men are fractured. The reason why we are not taking care of our kids at a very high level, and the truth of the matter is, even for those of you, don't even come for me because I know the data. The data is Black men are more engaged in their families and raising their kids than any other people group. So shout out to Black men, but listen to what I'm telling you. There are still countless young men who are relying on mentors and uncles and friends and the village. All that's cool. But I want a group of biological fathers to reconnect with their children that have been estranged, and to hell with all of the shame and all of the guilt. Like, I can help you to overcome that. But if you genuinely want to be involved again, we've developed a system to be able to do that. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a founder. I'm the living proof that a man can lead a company, which I lead a company that has several companies that are attached to it, and still be fully known at his own dinner table. So I'm not a guy, although I have been, I'm not a guy anymore who is fragmented. I am a guy who is actually living what it means to be integrated. But first, let me show you how I found this out. I found it out the hard way. For those of you that don't know, I've been married 4 times, been divorced 3 times. Not ashamed of that. It's just an immutable fact. It's the truth. So some of you may look at me and say, hey man, what do you have to say about being a husband and when you've been married 4 times? I have plenty to say. And if you'll listen to me, I'll save you from going through some of the heartache that I've gone through. Married 4 times, first 3 times, didn't work, married again. And I tell you that I'm an incredibly happy man in my marriage. But I had to, in order for me to get here as an integrated man, there's several challenges that I had to go through. And the challenges that I had to go through, Dwight says, balance is a dirty word. I was married for 17 years the first time I got married. I got married as a young boy. Not a boy, but a young man. 23 years old. Trying to figure it all out. I am a 2nd generation pastor. 2nd generation pastor. Doing really well back then in pastoring. But marriage suffering. I found out the hard way that it's not enough to be a leader in the community. I was a leader inside the community. Right? Like I was married 17 years, but very, very absent in my marriage. 3 children, not in their lives like I really should have been. When I say in their lives, I'm not talking about present. My son and our daughter live with us. So I'm not talking about that. My oldest son lived with his mom. And even at 19 years old, when he was born, I didn't do everything I was supposed to do. I just did not know what it meant to be a man of integration. I'm trying to find my way and balance everything that's going on. It was the hardest season of my life. Now, you're going to have to choose your hard, but it was the hardest season of my life. Ultimately, my ex-wife and I divorced. Ultimately, I heard from my son years later, my youngest son years later, where he said, "Hey, Dad, I don't want nothing to do with church." I'm like, "What?" He said, "I don't want anything to do with church. Church robbed me of my father." My ex-wife just wanted to have some fun. She just wanted to enjoy life. But everywhere I went, I had business on my mind, vacations on a computer, and my Bible at an amusement park. I'm taking phone calls on the beach. What was more important to me is what I thought was a sense of purpose, what I thought was a sense of assignment. And it was a part of it. But I was losing the war, even if I was winning parts of the battle. Lost a whole family, doing everything I thought was right. And I know your frustration. I know your frustration because I've experienced that frustration. You're doing everything society told you to do. You're looking at your wife and she's frustrated. She's interested in making sure that y'all can go out and enjoy your lives and so on and so forth. And you're saying, "Hey, man, do you enjoy having a roof over your head, or do you enjoy making sure the lights are on?" I know that you're taking care of, you're providing. That's all they told you had to do. Just make sure that you provide. One marriage, gone. Second marriage, gone. Third marriage, gone. Fourth marriage, strong, because I learned how to integrate. Now, I'm still not perfect at this game. This game, remember a moment ago, I told you it's the hardest game. It's the hard, it was the hardest season of my life back then. Well, you got to choose your hard. I chose a different hard. This game is the hardest game I've ever played in my life. I'm challenged by this game. I'm challenged by this game. But the results, the fruit, the manifestation is well worth it. Because integration is a grown man's game. Marriage is a grown man's game. Fatherhood is a grown man's game. And doing it all at the same time, having your personal life align with your business life and having your business life align with your family life, you killing the game in all of those areas at the same time. You are a G. But if we're honest, most of us that are looking at this training right now, most of us that are watching the training right now, something's suffering. Something is in trouble. Either your business is suffering because your family's taking all your time and you don't have the ability to run your business, or your personal life suffering because you're pouring all your life into your family, or your family suffering because you pouring all your life into your business or your personal life. You trying to have fun, and now you're a husband and you're asking the question, is it really possible? Is it genuinely possible to have all of this? I'm telling you that for the next several minutes, I'm going to prove to you, you can have it all. So this is what it looked like for me. Yeah, Dwight, the leaks. This is what it looked like for me. By every metric, I had it made. By every metric, I had it made. Look, I was preaching and teaching across the country. Compton, California, Long Beach, California, Delaware. I was actively involved with community, making sure that bills were passed that impacted Black men. The top right picture is me speaking at the Complexities of Colors Coalition, where Mark Lamont Hill actually spoke. We brought him in to speak. The bottom right is me on a camel in Israel. I actually taught and spoke in Israel. I've spoken in Accra, Ghana. So when I tell you I've spoken in Texas, I've spoken in Florida, I've spoken in many places, Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, listen, Jersey, New York, like you name it, Detroit, Michigan. I've literally spoken in almost every state in the union. And I've spoken internationally. And if you were to look at my life, it would say, that dude is killing it. No, that dude was dying. He was performing. That dude was fractured. And the only ones that knew it are the ones that knew me behind the scenes, that were close enough. I didn't feel like I could share it with everybody, because if I shared it with everybody at that time, I'm thinking, what are they going to do with the information? Couldn't share it with everybody, because if I shared it with everybody, I'm asking myself, are they still going to respect me knowing all of these problems that I'm having? So I kept it to myself until I crumbled. You know what? This is something that I want to share with you guys as well. I remember years ago, long time ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday, years ago, being so frustrated, being in so much pain. This is what everybody else saw. I knew that if you gave me a microphone and you gave me a stage, I was going to kill the game. I was charismatic. I was articulate. I knew how to move a crowd. That worked both in ministry and in politics. But behind the scenes, I'm at my desk like I'm at my desk now. And I remember my desk had drawers on both sides, and I pulled out my drawer where my 9mm rested. And I pulled that 9mm out, and I rested that 9mm on my desk. And I was going to unalive myself. Because while everybody saw these pictures, nobody knew what Dwight has accurately called the leaks. Nobody knew that behind the scenes I was leaking. Behind the scenes, my life wasn't good. You know how you meet a brother and that brother say, "How you doing, man?" "I'm good." Beware of a man whose only statement is "I'm good." He's oftentimes not good. Again, all of these are separate speaking engagements where I go and I'm sharing Israel, California, Delaware, Michigan. And as long as I performed, everybody was good. But I put my 9mm SIG on the desk, and I bargained with God. Here was the bargain I made with him. I'm going to call my therapist. And when I call my therapist, yeah, he's not good. When he tells you he is, he's not. I told God, Dwight, I said, I'm going to call my therapist, and if he answers his office phone, then I won't unalive myself. Why did I make that? Because I was sure, based on my history, that if I contacted him, he never answers his office phone, I could go ahead and take my life, go ahead and unalive myself. So I called. The phone is ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing. And I'm about to hang up before someone says, hello, Dr. Such and Such. And so he talked me off the ledge that night, actually afternoon. He talked me off the ledge that afternoon. My life was saved because he answered the phone. I'm here before you today because my therapist answered the phone. And he answered the phone during a time it looked like everything was good. Bruh, if you are watching this, and even if you can't show the emotion on the outside because your wife is near, your children are near, if you're tired, hit me in the DM. Hit Dwight in the DM. We want to be here for you as brothers. So you're good by every metric that mattered. Look like you made it. Look like I made it, right? But at home in the room that really mattered most, I was a stranger. My son, I wasn't making his games. I wasn't actively involved in the things that mattered most to him. My ex-wife just wanted to enjoy life. I remember her saying that to me. She said, when are we going to travel? When are we going to have a vacation? And I'm saying, we just went on vacation. She said, no, not to a conference. And it was then that I recognized how much I was missing it. And that, gentlemen, is the moment that broke it all. It's the night that she asked me the question that I could not answer. I was still thinking that we were good. And what I realized is I built a life I didn't know how to live in. I built a life that I didn't know how to exist in. And so what I want to help you do is to make sure that you're not building a life that you can't even live in. I want to help you answer the questions that your wife is asking, even right now, even though you don't know she's asking the question. And I want to give you some tools that are going to help you to be the business owner, the husband, the father, and the man that you are always destined to be. Here's the discovery. I stopped looking for balance. And I found out that integration was the only way that this works. I stopped chasing the seesaw. Remember when we were kids, somebody sit on one side, the other sit on the other side, and you just kind of balance one another? I stopped looking for that. It became very frustrating to try to find it when it was eluding me. When my exes were asking me for things that I couldn't provide. And I'm not 100% with it now. In fact, we have a model where we have a measurable tool to make sure that we are looking at how well we're doing. Today, I got a 2.6 out of 3. 2.6 out of 3. 87%. But there are areas I'm still struggling in. So, Remain was born. And it wasn't born out of some fluffy pie in the sky idea. It was born out of absolute necessity. If I was a man who was trying to figure out how to bring all of this together, then there were other men who were trying to figure out how to bring all of this together. Yet I found out that this place of bringing it all together is where belief, capacity, and execution become one. So I've got 3 secrets that I want to tell you. And secret number 1 is this. Secret number 1 is success doesn't create completeness. You can have all of the things on paper. You can look really, really good on paper. You can look really, really good on social media. But this is what I know. How you look on social media oftentimes ain't how you are. You flashing cars, you flashing clothes, you flashing jewelry. You're showing these fake bank accounts. But if I were to peel back, when I get you in a session where I am diagnosing what's really going on, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical doctor. I use the term diagnose because a diagnostic tool is exactly what we use to find out exactly where you are. And when we pull back the layer, you are miserable, my guy. You are miserable. You're not happy. If you could walk out of your house, you would. If you could walk off of your business, you would. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders and nobody understands. The more people you tell, the less people understand. You know, people talk all the time. I heard a guy say this one time where he was talking about women who say, well, you know, if we didn't, if I wasn't here, you would still have to pay rent or mortgage. You would still have to have a car. You would still have to pay gas and electric. You would still have to do those things. We've heard women say you would still have to do those things if I wasn't here. If you were here living alone, you would still have to do those things. But nobody's thinking about the absolute insurmountable amount of pressure that it takes to carry a family on your back, to have everyone count on you. It's good trouble. It's great trouble, but to have everyone count on you as a husband, as a father, as a business owner, and not realize that sometimes you got up days and sometimes you got down days, and sometimes the money is flowing real good, and sometimes the money ain't flowing at all, and sometimes listen, and you got to keep showing up over and over again. Nobody appreciates it. But that's why we created this world. That's why we created this movement. We created this movement to help men understand there's a place for you. We understand. If nobody else understands, if mom don't understand, if wifey don't understand, if kids don't understand, we understand, but we don't understand to the degree that we let you stay in a fragmented position. We understand to the degree that we help you develop a system so that you can master it all at the same time. All right, so here's the definition of fragmentation. Tell me whether or not you can feel this. This is the definition of fragmentation. Fragmentation is winning loudly in public while quietly losing in private and calling it a season. That's what you say. I'm just in a grind season. I'm in a grind mode. No, you're fragmented. Well, my wife ain't seeing me right now. It's just a season. Like that's what Kobe used to say, right? That's what LeBron has said. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, all of them have made statements like, you know what? For this season, I got to put in the work. You're going to miss me. Children are going to miss me. I'm not going to be there for y'all as much as I really should be there for y'all. But y'all understand, I'm making this life work. No, sir. No, sir. They don't understand. And if you're not careful, you will lose the people that matter most. I remember my mom saying to me when I was a young pastor, I was trying to be there for everybody, go to every family reunion, go to every baby shower, go bless everybody's house. And my mom said to me, son, let me tell you something. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, these people, my mom was hilarious, right? She said, these people will work you until you're laying at the front of that church. And then they will march by your body. And they will say, don't he look like himself? And they'll have a new pastor in about a month's time. The hardest lessons I've learned is the cost, the fee of balance that you're pouring into something that was never designed to work. Here's a split screen. In public, you're growing revenue, you got money flowing, respected title, admired by your peers. I know what that's like. I know how good that feels. So don't miss me. I know how that feels. I know how it feels to have a title. I know how it feels to be respected by your peers. I know how it feels to have money flowing. I know how all that feels. And I also know how it feels to have all that happening and have a distant marriage at home and be an absent father and empty at the top. Both those things can be true. So what we want to do is I want to ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how far apart are your public wins and your private wins? Where's the gaps? Do you have a huge gap between your public wins and your private wins? Here's what that looks like. Is there a huge gap between how you're showing up in public, how people perceive you, and whether or not you're really winning in private? You and your wife sleeping in separate bedrooms? Kids not really talking to you, even though you're showing up online, you got your Christmas picture, everybody look pretty. I want you to measure what's really going on. You know what I've also discovered in serving in this capacity of Remained for the last 7 years. We're in our 8th year now. And over 30 years in ministry, serving men, what I have found is oftentimes there's a huge gap in marriage between what a man says, how good a man says his marriage is doing, and how good wifey says the marriage is doing. Usually there's about a 4-point gap between the two. I ask a man, how's your marriage doing? Oh man, we're about an 8. I bring wifey on and I ask her, how's the marriage doing? We're at about 4, 3. We're in trouble. I asked Morehouse College when I first got here to Georgia. I asked Morehouse College, some friends that did some work at Morehouse College, particularly around marriage and family. And they were sharing with me that the divorce rate is filed for 70% of the time by wives and not by husbands. And I asked, why is that number so high? She said, because y'all don't have a clue at what's really going on in your own house. Y'all don't have a clue about what's really going on in your own house. And by the time y'all get a clue, she's walking out the door. She's so tired. And you're looking at like, whoa, what's going on? She's like, I have been trying to tell you, I need your time. I need some attention. I need affection. I need a vacation. I need all of these different things. Now, I'm not talking about guys who you're in a season where money is not flowing in the way that money really needs to flow. And you know, we teach you how to make money flow, how to unclog the wells. We teach you that here inside of our world of Remand. But let's be clear. I'm not talking about a man who's doing the very best he can and can't afford a 7-day vacation right now. I get that. So I'm not talking about him. So wives, listen to me. I'm not talking about him. There's no need to go to him and say, you know, I was listening to Donald. He thinks we should. No, don't do that. What I am saying, though, is that at some point, man, you've got to be in position to be able to have some time where you invest in your family. And when you reach the place of integration, 3.0, when you reach that place, it becomes as normal as Tuesday. So some of you just saw your own hallway. As I was talking, as I was sharing it with you, some of you saw your own hallway. You saw the challenges that you've been experiencing. You saw it. You know that it's not just you, it's others. And the question becomes, I need you thinking about, I need you to be concerned. I need you to be concerned. I need you to be concerned about whether or not, at least intrigued, at least curious about how to make sure that you can get all of this done at the same time. Here's the lie we tell ourselves. If I just win bigger, the rest of my life will catch up. I am here to tell you that is not true. In fact, for those of you that think it's true, you're not lying to others that I'm concerned about as much. I'm concerned with the lie that you're telling yourself. Watch this. About men as much who lie to other people. I'm more concerned about men who lie to themselves. Our society trains us to lie. Believe it or not, lying is comfortable. There's something about lying that gets you out of a lot of stuff that you go through, at least temporarily. This is the first test with the lie. How many of you have ever lied to get out of trouble at any point in your life? After a while, it's still coming around. You still gonna have to deal with it. There still has to be a violent confrontation with truth. A violent confrontation with truth. At some point, and I'm hoping that the point happens somewhere during the time of this masterclass. At some point, you have to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is not, if I just win bigger, the rest of my life will catch up. That is a lie. It does not work that way. Life never catches up because success and completeness were never the same thing. Success in your financial realm, success in your business, and wholeness and completeness and integration were never the same thing. In fact, I'm getting ready to make a statement here that's a bit difficult for you to hear, but just understand this. If you are successful in business, you are only 1/9 successful. Let me see what that is. You're only 1/9 successful. You just over 10% successful. 90% of your life is in shambles. And you happy about 10%, your business? Because that's all you care about, right? You care about making sure that you got some money flowing, that you got a title, that your peers respect you, even when your wife and children don't, and even when you know deep down inside, there's more to you than that. Here's secret number 2. Balance is a myth. This is probably the most important slide that you'll ever see. Balance is a myth. Balance is a myth, and there's a difference between balance and integration. Balance divides a man into fractions. Integration makes him whole. So here's the law of integration in motion. SQ, my spiritual quotient, my belief around who I am and why I am, times AQ, my adversity quotient, my sense of capacity to handle pressure, equals MQ cubed, which is my mastery quotient across life, leadership, and legacy. That if I can, you know what? I won't even explain it here. Let me just help you to see it here. Here we go.
I found out why not only me, but most men don't reach their full potential because they have not learned this formula. This formula will cause you to reach your full potential. Anybody interested? I say, anybody interested? Yeah. Not 95, not 80, 100% of the time, this will work if you learn to work it. SQ is my belief about my identity and purpose. AQ is about capacity. If I can lock in identity and purpose, if I can become solid on who I am and why I exist, and I can hold that identity and purpose under extreme pressure, then it's just a matter of time before I execute life, leadership, and legacy. My family, my business, my personal life rest on my ability to remain who I am under extreme pressure. The character that I've been using to get to this level is not sufficient to get me to the next level. So what I had to do is switch out character. Because when I switch out character, I choose a new character that is designed to get me to the next level. You cannot get to the peak without first honoring the fact you got to master the pit. In 80s, there was no iPhones and taking pictures immediately. No, sir. There was this time when there was a dark room and you had to go into the dark room. It had to be dark so things could develop. Because if you turn the light on ahead of time, it ruins the picture that is emerging. If I can get you to master your sense of belief in your identity and purpose, and you can hold that belief under extreme pressure, then you'll be able to execute skillfully across life, family, and business. I wish I had 10 of y'all that would jump up and shout, because all you are is a character away from the next level of your life.
That's the formula. And can I tell you, that formula works every single time. So instead of trying to find this place of balance, what you really ought to find is the place of integration. That is how success actually is obtained and maintained. SQ, my spiritual quotient, is all about belief. And we're not talking about belief in a religious context. This is not a church thing. You're talking about belief that makes everything possible. Belief around two particular things: who I am, my sense of identity; why I am, a sense of purpose. And if I can hold that under extreme amounts of pressure that are trying to separate me from my identity and from my purpose, then I'll execute skillfully across life, leadership, and legacy, all at the same time. You saw me in a video with my spiritual father. His name is Apostle Michael Freeman. And let me just tell you, he is MQQ'd. Mastered his marriage, his fatherhood, his business, and not lost himself in the process. I now model the message. I am the message. Business, marriage, my kids are grown, my personal life intact. And I'm working every single day to make sure that everything is getting my attention at the same time. So I got a question. Do you have more capacity than you have belief, or more belief than you've ever been tested? Which one is you? Which one are you? Are you the man who has more capacity than you have belief? You can handle pressure. You can handle the challenge. You were taught as a young boy. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is, Dwight. You were taught as a young boy that you're gonna have to function twice as hard. You're gonna have life twice as hard. You're gonna have to do twice as much to get half. Like, you were taught that, so you have capacity. You are used to handling the adversity, but you have no sense of direction. You have no sense of purpose. Or do you have belief, but as soon as the test comes, you crumble under pressure? Each of those will not allow you to execute across life, leadership, and legacy. And even if you luck up and get some of it done, you won't get all of it done. And even if you get all of it done for short periods of time, you can't sustain it. It's not sustainable. It's not, you'll never be consistent. I was on the phone earlier today with a friend of mine, T.M. Hyman, and T.M. Hyman was talking to me about the fact that so many men are inconsistent. And I was sharing with him that the real challenge is not with a man getting to a place of integration. The real challenge is him living there. Any man can visit it. Any man can have success in short-term spurts. Any man can do that. I'm talking about men who actually live at the place of integration, who live at a place where they can master it all at the same time. So this is what you need to discover. You weren't failing at balance. You were fighting physics. Stop trying to balance the ends, teeter-totter, right? Stop trying to balance the ends and become the center. Dwight, yes, sir. We as men are held accountable to it. Now, we can act like we're not. There are men that are watching this by the replay and they're saying, no, I'm not held to that standard. That's the world standard. No, it's not the world standard. It's your created by creator standard. Integration is not one more thing to carry. Integration is how you carry everything as one man. We're not trying to add another load. We're trying to strengthen your capacity to handle everything that you're called to carry. It's a lot, my guy. It's a lot. I do not at all fight the fact that it's a lot. We have to handle more than most, but we're built for it. Well, Donald, what do I need to do? That's not the question. The question isn't just what do you need to do? The question is, who do you need to become? Do you have the tools that are necessary? Do you have all of the strategies that are necessary? Do you have the community of brothers that are necessary? Because here's secret 3. Great men don't build better calendars. They build operating systems. We have to be intentional. Dwight put that down there. He said, you got to build mastery or integration with supreme intention. Like, this doesn't happen by accident. None of the guys in Remand are doing what they're doing and having high success by accident. We measure it intentionally. So here's the character arc that you got to work. The awareness. You got to face the arc. You got to make some choices. And then you got to become. It's all about becoming a different man. Here's the daily practice. Face the arc. And facing the arc is the daily moment you tell yourself the truth before the day tells you a story instead. I said earlier today that I had a score 2.6. That means 2.6, 2.7, 2.7. Yeah, 2.7. I had a 2.7 today. I think it's inside the Forge. Let me look real quick because I want to make sure I tell you all the truth. Let me see. So my score today (2.6), 87%, 2.6 today. That means 3 areas I failed at. 3 areas I failed at. See, I got to say that with my chest in the same way that I'm willing to say with my chest when I've won something, when I've done something well, when I've achieved. I failed at some things today. Now, that's not me attempting to get sympathy from you. That's me counting. That's me functioning in the measurement that we ask every man to function in. (2.6) sounds good, but not when you're after 3. 3 is a perfect score. 21 is a perfect score for the entire week. I done messed up my 21. Can you imagine what kind of dude I would be? What Marla would say, what my kids would say, what my business partners would say during the week that I got a 21. It means that I've handled my marriage well. It means that I've handled my kids well. It means that I've handled my business well. It means that I've done community work. It means all of these things that cause you to gain points. This whole thing is gamified. Oh, man. I'm after 21. I didn't get it this week. I'm going to get it next week. And if I happen to falter, because I'm not going to lie on the thing, if I don't get it, then I'll come back to you and tell you I didn't get it. But I'm after it every single day. I'm after a 3 every single week. I'm after a 21 every single month. I'm after 84. I'm after it. I'm after it. I'm after it. Daily integration is not a resolution. It's not a retreat. Daily integration is a practice. It's a habit that every single day I'm working, I'm working, I'm working, I'm working. Motivation versus systems. Here's the motivator. Motivation is about the weather. It's unreliable. It runs out by Wednesday. But systems is about climate. It's reliable. It's culture. And it works while you sleep. It's an internal mechanism that works while you sleep. Remand is not another program. Remand is the operating system that functions beneath or underneath the man. You can be an integrated man, a whole man, one that brings all of himself to a situation, not one that is a way when he's with his wife, then he's a different way with the kids, and he's a different way. One man that is masterful across life, leadership, and legacy. He's skillful. It's possible because I know men who do it. And I am a man who is learning to do it more and more every single day. As you see, there are days I just don't quite make it, but I'm striving because it's not a fantasy. Integration is not a fantasy. Being able to master it all is not a fantasy. It's Tuesday for the man inside the forge. What does that mean? It means that it's an everyday occurrence. Men are reaching the 3. Men are reaching 21. It's an everyday occurrence. To Dwight's point, look at what he said. You become masters of intention by execution. You got to execute. Now, there's something that we don't do well inside of Remand. I can't tolerate a brother who knows a whole lot but don't do nothing. Those are philosophers. Philosophers know a whole lot but don't do anything. You actually have to execute inside of Remand. You actually have to be skillful at executing inside of Remand. And you do it every single day, day in, day out, day in, day out. And if you notice, nothing on his calendar changed. The system that's operating underneath it all is what changed. So you didn't come here to learn how to build a better business. You came here to become a complete man. So I want to introduce to you the method that we use, the vehicle that we use to make sure you can become a complete man. It's called the Forge. It's where businessmen become complete men through daily integration. See what Dwight said? Daily integration. What it is, it's not a course you finish. It's not a retreat you remember. It's a daily forge for the man you're becoming every single day. It's a daily forge. It's a daily shaping. It's a daily hammering. It's a daily creation of the man that you're intended to be. Every single day is you becoming. So inside the forge, there are several things: daily facing the arc, weekly live coaching, a brotherhood, leadership development, the character arc, the blackout experience, integration audit. Like, there are a number of different things that are happening. And Dwight, you're right, bro. Precision, not always pretty. Dwight is right. This thing is ugly. We call it dirty work. The dirty work inside Remand is an ugly process. The process will make you angry. It'll piss you off. It'll make you frustrated. It'll make you happy one day. It's going to betray you the next day. This is work. And I will tell you, most men give up, but not you. I believe you're a man who can continue to show up and make it work. 3 degrees at a time. 3 degrees at a time. So what compounds? Y'all know what compound means, right? What grows significantly, exponentially is your personal life, your family life, and your business life, your societal life. All of those things that grow at the same time. Everything's inside the forge. Here's every piece of the system and what it's actually worth. So this is what it looks like. Number 1, the daily practice. Daily facing the arc is a $5,000 value. Number 2, live access to myself during weekly live coaching. That's a $25,000 value. Number 3, men who won't let you drift. That's the Brotherhood plus the Remand app, a $5,000 value. The full framework, the character arc curriculum, $15,000 in value. Number 5, momentum, built-in monthly challenges, templates, and resources, $10,000 value. So when you look at daily facing the arc, weekly live coaching, Brotherhood, the Remand app, the character arc curriculum, monthly challenges, templates, and resources, we're talking about a total value of $60,000. But what we're not going to do is make you pay $60,000, even though it's worth $60,000. Donald, what's the cost? Well, before we get to the cost, let me tell you this. The cost is $1,500. That's your investment today. $60,000 in value for $1,500. But if you take action right now, we've taken an additional $500 off of your, but you gotta do it while we're on this call. You have to actually go sign up while you're on this call. And there are guys standing by to make sure to take your Klarna payment. If you don't have $1,000 up front, it's okay. We have different mechanisms by which you can use to be able to pay, including up to and including a third-party funder that is 100% guaranteed to get you funded. This is for the man who decides today, not someday. Here's the complete man guarantee. Do the daily work. Do the work every single day for 90 days. Show up inside the community. Be among the brotherhood. Get all of the teachings and trainings. Avail yourself to all of that. And if you don't feel more integrated by the end of that 90 days, we will return every single dollar. Every single dollar we will return. Why now? Here's why. Because fragmentation compounds daily and so does integration. You just have a choice. With regard to which one you're going to let run your life. Fragmentation or integration. You have a choice. Here's the invitation. Stop succeeding while staying fragmented. You don't have to do that anymore. There is a system and a brotherhood that exists to help you become. Skip the latte. Dwight on fire tonight. Skip the latte. Invest in yourself. And you know what we're making available? For those of you who were on the call tonight and say, you know what, I'm trying to sign up right now. Guess what? We're going to give you lifetime access to the Forge for that same $1,000. Lifetime access to the Forge for that same $1,000. I didn't come here to learn how to build a better business. I came here to become a complete man. This is the place where belief, capacity, and execution become one. So I want to have a period of Q&A. If you're here and you have some questions, Make sure we field those questions. If you're here and you say, Donald, I'm ready, hit me in the DM. If you're here and you say, you know what? Finally, there's a space for men to be strong and for men to be solid. There is. What's waiting is you. So, if you desire, and you really should, skip the latte. Dwight told you, skip the latte, invest in you. Let's make it happen. If you're a wife and you're watching this, help your husband. Now, he's got to do the work. But gifting, you gift him everything else. Gift him access to remain for the rest of his life. And let's see your entire marriage, family dynamic, business, and everything shift and change. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I love and respect y'all. Rock high.